Welcome back, guys, to your Kentucky X-Files.
I don't know what...
Cha-da-cha-cha!
Ooh.
Jazz hands.
I like your moves.
People can see my jazz hands now.
Yeah. I like your moves. Nice
They're
moves.
super jazzy.
Very jazzy. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, look at this. Folks, if you have little children in the room, you're going to want to cover their eyes. This is getting provocative over here.
I wish I I can just turn my TV on and off and I'd be like
Hide your wife. Hide your mom.
Hide your grandma.
Hide your grandma. They jazz hands all up in here.
Man, oh man. Here we are, guys. We hit. I feel like it was funny because we were on our secret, super secret chat that no one should ever see, right? Because of the content that's hidden in there is worth millions. Okay, so all night last night we were like, it's out tonight. It came out. It's out. I was super excited. I didn't feel disappointed either. I don't know. How did you guys feel? Like, honestly,
the only thing I was like, I feel like I told you. Oh, well, okay. Before we get into this, we need to let the listeners know. I feel like some people know, but if they haven't listened to past episodes, we're talking about missing 411, the UFO connection.
Yep, and it's a big old graphic that you're gonna see down at that side of your screen right now, and I don't even have to edit it in because it's already there. So it's exciting. Yeah.
So
we know how much editing I like to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just came out yesterday, and well, you guys, it came out Tuesday. The only crappy thing, I think it said on my thing, you're allowed to rent it on the 27th, but right now you have to buy it.
Yeah.
So it's like $14, $15 on what I bought it on. I don't know what you guys had it.
Yeah, I just went ahead and got it on Prime, and
Yeah, I went with the ultra high def.
Yeah, I did too.
I didn't get the ultra. I did. God, you guys got. No,
well,
those guys have the money.
Spoiler alert! If you're gonna watch some graphic effects that belong on like 2006 Sci-Fi Channel, it's so much more entertaining to watch it in ultra high def on the biggest TV you can get.
I'll have to agree there. Some of the graphics, like the demonstrations, or what do you call them, like reenactments, were
the reenactments. Yeah,
they were definitely they were a decade ago at their newest.
That's being generous. Dave.
That's like when like 3D rendering was like first.
Yeah,
like being.
I'm gonna say that Denny and I were in high school when some of that level of graphics probably hit the market.
And it was groundbreaking then.
It was.
Right.
Not now.
But man, it ground broke the shit out of the ground.
But hey, I'm not gonna sit here and shit on their graphics because if we ever did a documentary, that's exactly what graphics I would go for, because it's easy to render.
Hand puppets.
And it would, I feel like hand puppets would be the best. Big fire!
I'm going to go with the giant cardboard cutout.
Oh, yeah. Oh, dude, yeah. That's the budget there.
Yeah.
No, I mean, all jokes aside, though, about the graphics, I realized that, David Paulides made this movie himself.
Right.
You know what I mean? And he was working
on his
it
budget
with his son, who passed away, unfortunately, But literally, I wasn't disappointed. I was kind of glued to it because I've watched the other ones. I've followed his website. I've followed his work for a few years now, and I find that the way the man goes about his investigation is pretty interesting, especially for a guy who kind of tends to stay away from the limelight. You know what I mean? Yeah. You think a lot of these shows from years and years, I mean, some of these investigators are like, you know, they're going straight to the news. They're going straight to all this. The biggest names, you know, we're on Oprah and we're on all this, you know, they're trying to just get out, whatever. And it stops being more about the subject and more about them, you know.
Right.
And this dude is more like the opposite. He's notoriously hard to book, you know, to talk to get into conferences and things like that. It's more about the work that he's doing than it's about him. And I find that makes me respect him more, you know.
Right.
So I was
But
really blown away when the actual UFO connection was dropped. You know what I mean? I don't know. I feel like an idiot. Like I really do, because the whole time I was watching it, I just thought that it was the UFO connection because it was a catchy name and there was going to be stuff about UFOs in it. And I feel like
Right.
an absolute idiot for feeling this way, because once he finally revealed the actual connection, I was just like I literally was like, oh my God.
uh,
Like I mean, I was blown away.
but I to answer your question, I wasn't even. I loved it. I thought I was like, cause crap, like I had to be up at 4 to go to work, and I still stayed up to watch it because I waited too long to. I was doing crap and I waited too long to watch it.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, I'll watch it a little bit now, and then I'll finish it right before we do everything. And
Yeah.
I was like, I just couldn't turn it off. I had to watch it. I had to hear the next story or the reasoning behind something. So I wasn't disappointed.
Yeah.
I just wish it was a little bit more. It was longer, like had a little bit more in depth with each story,
Yeah.
because a lot of these stories that he had were crazy. Like I was like,
Yeah.
and I loved all of them. Like, take it with what you will. Everybody will say this. Like I know what happened to me. If you believe it,
Yeah.
that's fine. If you don't, you don't. That's
Right.
like I get that, and I could genuinely see it in their faces that they were saying, they were telling them something that they saw,
Yeah.
and they actually saw something. So I like for it to be like cast aside, but a lot of it, like the connections and stuff, were crazy. So I guess once like, I don't know how far you guys wanted to dive into this. So spoiler alert.
Yeah. If you're
We
planning,
might,
go watch it
yeah,
before you watch this.
Yeah.
yeah, watch this before, yeah, watch that before this, because we're
Yeah.
going to talk about a lot of it, because this is afterthoughts.
Yeah.
And I really, okay, I gotta start this off because it's been on my mind since we watched it, and I messaged you guys because we're like little schoolgirls talking back and forth watching like The Bachelor or something. Like, oh my God, did you see he got a rose? Who
The-
got a rose?
The elk
It's
comments
like,
coming from Gibbs were fucking getting me like over
yeah,
and over again.
but
He's like, don't go elk hunting, dude. Check. I'm safe. I'm good.
that's
That's all I gotta
why I
do.
put in the thumbnail an elk. But
Get a
the
vasectomy.
one
Don't go hunting. All right. On it.
but
Don't be
one of
German.
the, like,
Shit.
Oh no, man. 1 out of 3. They got you.
Right.
Oh my god.
there was I can't remember the names. I'm sorry. I only watched it once, so I'm bad with names, but there was 2 hunters that were in
It was
the
Chris and Rob, right?
I just said I didn't know their names, so I don't know. I
I'm-
can't clarify that. But if
I'm
you're Chris and
thinking-
Rob,
I'm thinking it's Chris and Rob.
I don't
yeah,
remember.
the one guy that actually could be like Brian's dad.
Yeah, he looked a
I'm
lot like
just
him.
saying it looks dead on him
Oh,
with the
look at
beard.
that dude.
Dude, he looks just like him.
So sorry, Brian, but
Yeah, shout
maybe
out.
we just
But-
think about you too much. I don't know. This is
I
getting
do.
weird. He's our best friend,
But-
folks. Just
Yeah,
don't ask him about it. Yeah.
yeah. But they were saying that they saw a triangle ship with
Dude.
three lights with the red light in the middle. This has been depicted in multiple. Like, we even had somebody on our show, like one, a
Dave.
friend of ours,
Yeah.
Dave's. But this has been said in another episode what made me put my connection together in one of our
Michael.
guests, Michael. He told us the size of this ship when it came above him. It was about a football field's length, and they said the same exact size. And
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, you could get this like if you type in that, like you might be able to get that off the internet, but this is off of some. This guy was where was the? Oh yeah, and that was the funny part too. Gibbs finally found people from Wyoming. These people were all from
That's
Yeah.
Wyoming.
how I know this
Remember-
documentary's fake.
Yeah, he said the whole documentary was fake as soon as he saw they were from Wyoming. So I was like, man, his skepticism is getting unhealthy at this
Right.
point.
So yeah, don't go hunting in fake states. Don't be German
Fake states.
and get a vasectomy, and the aliens won't get you.
Oh my god.
I feel like we'll flush out through this episode. We'll flush out all the check marks that he keeps saying, like
Right.
not to be
Yeah.
German. Not
Did you
to go
guys
elk
have
hunting.
the holy shit moment though when the Black Triangle,
Yeah.
when it happened? I was like,
Yeah.
holy shit.
Yeah, of course it was that. Yeah, it's yeah.
when I like, because I've heard people talk about the triangle
Yeah.
shape multiple times
Right.
on different shows and stuff like that. But when he said a size of a football field, I'm like, dude, that is like I know you can't really like. Or terrible. We'll choose, like we said, we will choose anything to measure something.
How many canoes big do you think
Yeah.
the triangle ship is? Like if you had to guess.
50 canoes.
Well, it's 13 feet to canoe,
How long is a
That's-
football field?
100 yards.
How many canoes is in a football
It's
field?
300 feet. So yeah,
Let me
Would
get my
be-
abacus.
Abacus.
it's roughly 23 canoes.
God, the only way that would have been better is if you actually pulled one up and started like what's he doing? He's checking the math. How many canoes? I'm sorry.
About 23.
23 canoes big.
23 canoes.
That's big,
Wait,
folks.
yeah, I'm just saying, like, when he said that, and remembering what Michael said, that
Right.
was an old shit moment for me. And I've had a couple
Right.
while I was watching this.
Yeah.
So that was one of my big oh shit moments. What was your guys's? Did you have any other ones?
Yeah, I did. I'm still working out all the details. I'm in the process of tracking out every detail, but the thing that stood out to me was the old man and his description of the alien.
What was it? Zebo?
Yeah, something like that. Abo or something, or Ozzo.
Yeah,
Ozzy
yeah,
Osbourne.
Ozzo. Yeah.
So when Ozzy Osbourne came down and was talking to him, right? When he drew like a very rudimentary picture of the alien, right?
Right.
Before it bit the head off a bat and played Bark at the Moon. So I'm sorry, man. Crazy Train. I'm never gonna not love Crazy Train. It's just never gonna happen.
I feel like you guys are gonna hate me. I'm not a big fan of Crazy Train. I think he has a lot more.
You shut your fucking
I
mouth.
think he has so many other better songs.
He
than that
does.
one.
But he's going off the rails. It's just like one of the greatest. Anyway, so when
Yeah.
Ozzy was down there and he was talking to this guy, when he drew the little thing about it, it was missing a hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, it had like a cone.
It
yeah,
had
missing
like
a hand
on one hand
and a cone.
it had
Cone
no
on this
hand.
hand.
And
Yeah.
the reason that stuck out to me was because 10, 15 more years ago, I'd heard a story about a guy who was involved in an underground-based gunfight against aliens. And a random detail of a hand being shot off is the reason why I made the connection. And I was like, this is very obscure, you know what I mean? But I'm still working it.
We've even made the argument that it's, we're assuming that the entirety of the species would be, superior race
Yeah.
or superior species or
Right.
whatever. But we've also, we've made the argument that maybe sometimes their dumbasses are the ones that come here.
Maybe they
Remember
send them.
remember Philip? We talked about Philip the alien, who was the moron who would get lost, and
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah,
We
So
made
like,
the
He's out
yeah
there
we made the
abducting elks and shit.
right.
yeah we said the same thing because like off of Futurama. Remember Leonardo da Vinci was actually the dumb person from his planet,
Hmm.
but he was smart, like smart here.
Right.
So yeah, and plus we always just depict that they're the same species. Why are we saying where there's people here that are so narrow-minded to say that we're the center, we're the only living or like smart, intelligent living organism in the universe.
Yeah.
But now the people that believe that there's intelligent life out there, but they believe that it's one intelligent life. You don't think if one fucker is visiting this planet, there's not another fucker visiting this fucking planet?
Well,
Sorry, I
I
felt
mean,
like I needed the F word to bring my
gotcha.
thing home.
Well, I mean,
Right.
the idea of more of a like hive society, with ruling classes being different species. I mean, that's not
Oh, I thought
crazy. That's not a
I thought
crazy
you were
thing
talking
to.
about the hive mind thing where they all have one
Oh,
the whole
I was
insect
trying not to
bullshit.
use the hive mind, but like say like a hierarchy of like ruling class aliens, you know, elites, and then
Nancy
working class.
Pelosi.
She's definitely an alien.
It's just
Sort of like you're talking like the food chain, but instead of eating each
Yeah,
other, it's class
it's
ruling
more
each
like a
other.
like a ruling
Yeah.
class. I mean, I just don't feel like that's too far out there. But
it's a
yeah, Philip.
democracy.
I mean, what if it was Philip? What if he was involved in some shit over in Area 51, got his hand shot off, goes over here, you
But
know?
What if he put his hand where it shouldn't belong on a piece of equipment and got his hand tore off
He could
because
have.
he's a dumbass?
He could have
You
gotten
know?
it bitten off. He could have landed like never been on Earth before, walked up to a bear.
yeah,
Hey,
thought it was an elk.
goes to touch it. It's like, ah! And he's like,
Yeah.
me, map, me, map, me, map. And that translates to shit. My hand's
Wow.
gone now. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's a lot
Yeah.
of syllables, but
But hold on a second, like this story that you said you heard about a gunfight or like
yeah.
when was that? When did that happen?
I'm still looking, man. That's not the
Well,
only one. There's
because
multiples.
well, I was just saying like because the one connection that you're trying to put together, because he said he saw this guy.
Yeah.
This was back in 1970 something.
Yeah, see, this was before the 70s, though, and the reason that it was
Oh, okay,
interesting
so it
was
was
because it
before.
had something
Okay.
to do with the Roswell aliens. I'm air quoting here, and apparently it was somebody from their species trying to recover those bodies, and it was like a fight broke out. I don't know. I'm trying to find it. Once I do, I'll put everything on our website and a blog or something and lay it out. But it'll be badass if it lines
Yeah,
up. If it doesn't line up, I'll put it up anyway because it's an interesting read.
yeah, his drawing, his depiction of it. I really want to know what the cone is for.
Wasn't a knife?
No, he just said there was a. They only said it was a cone shape. It looks like a knife.
I
It
thought it was
was.
some sort of a blade.
Yeah, it did. It kind of looked like it.
I'm just saying, he looked like like
Oh.
the T1000 metal polyolenoid,
Say that
liquid
again.
metal,
Right.
metal polyolenoid, liquid
Impressive.
metal.
I can't say it.
Yay! It's like he can make knives and stabbing weapons.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I would know. If he could do that, then he could have grew his other hand back.
Yeah.
Or
Or
are
just
we
made a robot
sure?
hand.
Or are we sure he did have two? Like
That was okay.
cones?
So that was something that had me a little confused when he drew the picture of the controls in the spaceship, right?
Yeah.
They're analog.
It showed like, yeah, they were analog lever controls. How would you operate those with an ice cream cone on this arm and jack shit on this arm?
Yeah.
You know?
It's too far gone. We can't comprehend this shit, man.
Maybe he plugs his cone into a panel somewhere, You know, I don't know.
Like fucking, like no RoboCop. Remember his like thing that he did to access the mainframe? It's like he had that needle thing. Remember
I
that?
mean, I
Yeah,
guess
yeah,
it's possible that that appendage could change to the need. You know,
yeah.
There you
I feel
go.
like we're defending Philip too much. We got to
right?
remember he's a dumb shit.
But
Philip's moron.
we're assuming that Phillips is the same
The same
species as
guy.
this
Okay,
one.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
but
That's
Yeah.
true.
this
Yeah.
guy with his like his whip, if you will, had levers and stuff. So I guess all he did, like if it's a lever, you could just take it and like smack it a little bit
You
if you
could,
did.
but you could, but I mean, it's counterintuitive to have controls if your arms and hands look like traffic cones. You know?
Did you guys when when traffic cats when he was when it was doing the thing where it was talking about when it came down the other one that snatched the elk
Yeah.
and they were
Mhm.
talking
The
about
pokey,
how it was wobbling.
the pokeball. Yeah.
Yeah, and it flew off with the elk and it bumped into a tree.
Yeah.
Yeah, they said that it bumped into a tree and then it went off.
The reason I believe the story
It's because it
is
bumped into a
because
tree.
it bumped into the fucking tree.
Yeah.
Because the whole thing is laid out. These are superior beings,
Yeah.
and I'm like, how superior?
I mean, they got drone technology better than us. I mean, but maybe
what-
they not
what
very
do-
good at driving them.
What have we learned about generations growing up with technological advances?
They were probably texting and driving.
Right?
Hey,
I got a
Squid
deer.
Bob.
Boom. Oh shit!
Yeah,
I
Squid
lost
Bob. I
a
got a
deer.
oh shit!
Damn it!
Don't, that's a deer. Damn
Think
it.
it'd be all right to eat anyway? Fuck it. I'm gonna go get some fish.
But that was one of the I think out of all the sightings that they were talking about in this documentary, I think that was the only one. No, there's two. No, god damn it. There was two that were different. That one was in Washington. The other one like the one missing person was in British Columbia. The
Right.
other ones were all in Wyoming,
Yeah.
which I can't bring that up. We're gonna stir up
Yeah,
mixed feelings.
we don't want
It's
to don't talk about the W
yeah,
word.
don't know.
Yeah, don't
I
bring up
just
the
call him.
W word.
Yeah,
He gets real upset.
So, like, I want to send a personal message to David Politis that when they talk about putting bullet points on a map, they don't mean literally using live rounds to
I
lay
actually
out.
I actually laughed about that. Like when it came to that scene and I saw the magazine, I was like, "What kind of like who just randomly just does that?"
Right.
But
That's
I
his
got like
magazine.
what? Yeah, once he popped out around and then he set it down, I was like, "Oh." It's like when me and Denny used to take pictures of the knives. You sprinkle bullets to make it the
You
dynamics
always
of the
sprinkle bullets
picture.
on, yeah.
Yeah, to make it pop. That and I got that, like, cause now you're invested. Like, oh, he just put a live round on the map. You
Yeah.
gotta watch that. You gotta look at that. So, and that was a cool thing too. Is if you like when you remember, it actually made a triangle. Triangle
Dude, that's the part when I mean, like I said, out there listening, all
out
jokes
of.
aside, it is a really good watch. You know,
Oh
It,
yeah,
it is.
the subject matter is worth the watch. This is how we process this information. You know what I mean? Like we like the funny stuff and
Right.
yeah.
but-
We giggle about the small things.
yeah,
but
the small stuff, but the overarching idea though is that when he makes the connection, and I don't want to spoil that for anybody listening. You're gonna have to watch it. When he makes
Right.
the actual connection, that actually took me aback because I don't know if you guys have watched the other two movies, but I was a
have
big
not.
fan.
Actually, when I finished this one, I actually even said to Sam that I wished that I would have started at the very beginning to get a baseline for how he
Yeah.
does his documentaries.
Because the other two are really, really powerful. Like they're
I really, really, really wish that he would have went more in depth about why this the links between the people in Wyoming was important
Yeah. See,
because he didn't, and that's irked me since we've watched it. Like we could take the thousands of missing people out of Wyoming.
yeah.
I'm sorry, there's no way. There's got to be 3 people there tops. All right. But we could take the thousands of people from that are missing in
Yeah.
any region,
Yeah.
and we could find 3 or 4 connections between all of them
That
that may or may
okay.
not have anything to do
I see what you're saying.
with the
Yeah.
disappearance
So
itself.
that would be why you would need to watch the other 2 documentaries to
Yeah.
see why there isn't thousands of them that cooperate.
Right.
That's important. Yeah. It's because that the only ones that cooperate with this fit that specific set of circumstances that he uses for these. And I know there was a bunch of people that when I was reading some reviews where they said that they'd wish the same thing, that he would have went into more detail about these, this connection. But from what I understand, his reply has been,
I understand a lot of his.
You good?
yeah, kind of had a weird internet glitch
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, we saw.
Yeah, it was weird.
His reply was,
His reply was that he was basically catching you up to where he's at.
right.
He's
See, and that
he
makes
doesn't
sense.
have it. He's up. You're seeing where he is in the investigation. That's pretty much
And
it.
if that would have been specified,
Yeah,
then all of those questions wouldn't have needed to be asked.
yeah,
I'm not saying it's a bad documentary. I enjoyed
Yeah.
it.
yeah.
I like documentaries because gray hair and whatnot. I enjoyed the
I'm
hell
right
out
there
of it.
with you.
But it was like I got done and I had more questions than answers, and I understand that was probably the point.
Right.
But letting me know that was supposed to happen
Yeah.
would have been paramount.
Right. Yeah. I think too, as the production was, and by any standards, I'm not trying to make excuses for the man, but I think that the production was rushed towards the end because of the stuff that happened in his life. But
Right.
because he did take a year off during the making of this, But like I said, I mean, to me, it is what it is. It's
Oh, there you went.
yeah. I'm having like crazy. I might not be able to keep going here. I'm having crazy lag issues.
Tyler, are you frozen too? Oh, there he goes.
Yeah, I can
no,
literally
I
see
was
your
just-
guys' eyes moving, and that's how I know that I'm not froze.
That's
Yeah,
what I was
you're good.
looking for, was him to move. He was sitting so still. I was like,
Yeah.
so I want to stay animated the rest of the episode. Tyler, do that.
Yeah, just keep moving. Yeah, so we know.
The vape's telling on you. There you go.
So I know we weren't gonna go too crazy long on this one, but what is your guys like? What's your final thoughts on the documentary? Like, what do you think after the whole thing, all the information he left, and what were you left with at the end? I know more questions, but
Yeah.
what do you think of the connection, the UFO connection?
I would have to say he actually hit the head of the nail when he was talking to the FBI agent. Because
That was
I
pretty
feel like
wild.
I think I said this in one of the episodes, is that the reason why we had because we were making jokes about like the crap that like the government has sent out.
Yeah.
Like it's redacted, and you get like 2 words.
I redacted this
Nothing-
in the middle of an episode.
Yeah.
I
Right.
literally
You know,
drug a sensor.
The parallels and the connection between that last episode we did and this documentary, or at least the last few episodes, is actually freakier to me
Right.
than the parallels he drew in his own documentary.
Yeah. But the the thing where he's like the guy says like, it's like how he said it. It's like, I believe now that the stuff that we know, like the government knows and tries to, they're trying to show that they know that they're there to elude that they know what's going on,
Right.
Right.
but they don't know shit.
That's
And that's what's scaring them the most, is that they can't just say they don't know, because that gives the people more panic, because our government doesn't know what's going on.
They
So
know.
so that's what I like. I believe that's where they're going. Like, since we can't control it,
Yeah.
we're going to be kind of ignorant about it, to like none the least.
You know.
And I feel like that would probably be my last final thoughts on the whole thing, is that I wholeheartedly believe that people are seeing things, people are having experiences with these beings, and the government knows about it, but they do not know how to talk to them, how to come in contact with them, and it terrifies them. Because, like, come on, like, if you don't know about a species or something, you don't know how to defend yourself from it. And that's probably worrying them the most, is that what can they do? What can we do? Like, if they attacked, what can we do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's mine.
Yeah. And that touches a lot on what we talked about on the last one, where I said that, that's the reason why they're releasing stuff, is to err to the side of, ooh, we know what's going on, but they really don't fucking have a clue,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know? For me, what I appreciated about it was, one, it felt like everything was spontaneous. It really did look like he just showed up and drug people out of bed and put a camera in front of their face. Like, none of the people there was maybe one or two that actually looked like they were expecting
Yeah.
the interview. The rest of them all looked like they got surprised with a camera.
Yeah.
So that felt real to a degree. It was kind of like he found them, he talked to him. When you want to be on the show? Well, when? How about now? Okay, sure, why not?
Right.
You know,
Kind of how we
uh,
book people.
yeah, right,
You want to be on? We'll hang out.
right,
You want to
exactly.
be our friends?
Um, the the connections that were made, that's interesting.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. I learned stuff that I
Yeah.
wasn't aware of because of it. Um, I I feel like, regardless of what happened, everybody that was interviewed, it really felt like they were telling the truth as best as they know it,
Yeah.
and I like that.
Yeah.
You know,
Definitely.
it didn't feel like I was watching sci-fi, other than the graphics.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
didn't feel like actors. But I need a part two.
Yeah. That's kind of what my final thought on it was. Honestly, was like I said, I've followed the man's work for a while now. I've definitely done enough because I was very suspicious at first in regards to Mr. Politis, because I thought he was too good to be true.
Right.
If I'm being honest, I just thought he was too good to be true. I'm like, dude, this is an actual investigator he's very, very down to earth. That shit, dude, took him 10 years to even bring up UFOs. Like
Right.
he was, dude, people literally still try to get him to say Sasquatch. And he's like, not, he's like, I'm not willing to dive into that yet.
Right.
Like, he's just, so I'm like, I have a lot of respect for the
Well,
guy.
and his history, his work history, he would lose a lot of merit, I'm sure. His
Yeah.
credentials would be definitely tarnished.
Yeah.
Accolades just wiped away if he was to lean too heavily into,
Yeah.
anything paranormal.
Right. That's kind of where I was at, was he didn't, he's not willing to commit to the paranormal, but with the recent UFO disclosure, it seemed like he was like, okay, let's do this. Let's reveal this.
Right.
And I like it. I can't wait to see more and hear more from him. And,
Yeah.
I just really wish that somebody would do audiobook versions of his books so that I could listen to them all, because, I'm driving all the time, and it would be great, because I know there's a lot more info in those books that I'd like to, wish I had time to sit and read, and I just don't, But yeah, with that being said, though, guys, I mean, I have nothing else to add to this whole thing. Well, sort of. You guys out there listening, we have a website. And it's www.kyxfiles.com. Check it out. Everything's there. All of the episodes, pictures of us in compromised positions. That's not true, but if you go look, it might be. You know?
He was absolutely compromised as he said that.
The email address, if you want to send us an email, encounters@kyxfiles.com. And now, as of yesterday, there's a T-shirt on there. And I'm going to tell you right now, you might not be ready for this. In fact, don't go look at this T-shirt. I don't want you to check it out because it's too badass. It's too much.
And it's that's time of year to be buying gifts for people.
It is.
So if you really like somebody, get them the shirt. If you really don't like somebody, get them the shirt.
Get them the shirt for sure. Because if they don't like you, they're going to be like, you keep this gift, you son of a bitch.
And then you got two.
And then you have two shirts. Think about that for a second.
The greatest things in life come in pairs.
What are you still doing listening to this? Go get a shirt. Anyway, the last thing I wanted to say was we have a Patreon. If you want to support it, awesome. If not, go buy a shirt. See how I did that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Every time you buy a shirt, a Sasquatch gets a bush to hide in. I made that up. I'm sorry. You deserve better than that. But yeah, that's all I want to do. I just wanted to make sure that we said all that stuff,
But yeah, and another thing too is whatever you guys throw your if you watched the documentary, leave us a comment. What's your thoughts on it? What do you feel about it? Do you feel like a lot of the stuff that he said was bullshit, or what? Was you really? Yeah.
Don't you say that?
Everybody's welcome at the campfire. Anything. So.
I'm just a fan of the guy, man. I'm sorry. Dude's a good investigator.
It's really good. So no matter what, watch Missing 411, all of them, not just this one.
Yeah. After you get your shirt, go and get the movies and watch them. And maybe you can rewatch them once you got your shirt, and it'll be even more special. Send us a picture of yourself in the shirt too.
Yeah,
I want to see that.
So you buy a small one for your dog.
Oh, dude. You gotta do that. The dog's probably sitting there right now. Anyway, let's get out of here.
Some of these guys have their day.
Take care of each other.
See ya.
Stormy night. You're looking kind of pale, my friend. Are you sure you're alright? This is where all the evil things they live, And if you're here to find out what you're made of, it's here they'll find your bones. I'm surrounded by eyes.